Today I'm going to talk about my favorite game mechanism in Quentin Tarantino movies. So this is obviously a little different. This isn't about a specific board game, but I will get to board games within this video. The other day I was watching a video on YouTube that talked about some of the unique aspects of Quentin Tarantino movies, specifically Reservoir Dogs. They were talking about what makes Reservoir Dogs work, why is it still entertaining, how does it hold up. And one of the key features they mentioned that I think Pulp Fiction is probably the most well known for, but a couple of Tarantino movies do this, is that they are not told in a linear fashion. They're told, each scene isn't told chronologically. They all fit together in the end chronologically, but the first scene of the movie might be one of the things that happens at the very end of the movie or in the middle. They're all mixed up. And I thought this was really, really cool. This has occurred to me about Tarantino movies before, but it didn't occur to me. But you know, sometimes I like to look at other forms of media and see what are people doing that that flips the trends or flips the tropes of that form of media on its head. What are they doing that's new? And this is definitely something really unique about Tarantino movies. Obviously, other movies have done it too. This is an example of many other films that do this. But I was thinking, are there any board games that do this? Or any tabletop games that are told in a non-linear fashion? And if so, how do they do it? And if not, could this be an asset to the board game universe? So a few came to mind. I talked to some friends about this. And the main games that came to mind were time travel games, which kind of makes sense. In time travel games, you're experiencing something that hasn't happened yet, and then some things happen, and then that thing happens. So examples of this are an Anachrony. Anachrony is a game where you can kind of order things from the future. And in every game of Anachrony, there's a big, terrible thing that happens at the end of the game that you have to prepare for. There is Chrononauts, which I haven't played, but a friend talked to me about Chrononauts and how it's told in a non-linear fashion. Time Stories, you know, one of my favorite games, definitely came to mind. There's one Time Stories mission specifically where you start out the mission a little bit too soon, like you go back in time, but you go back a little bit too late. And so you see what's already happened, and then you go back to the present and then back to the past again a little bit earlier to fix the thing that you know is going to happen. And pretty much every Time Stories mission does this. Like they tell you that something bad is going to happen, go back and fix it or interact with it in some way. So I think that, Time Stories does that really well. And the last example a friend mentioned was Fiasco. Fiasco is a storytelling game that I also have not played, but in Fiasco, it sounds like you're given the outcome of a circumstance, and you have to figure out how to get to that outcome. So I can see that working in a storytelling space, which all games really are. They're just telling stories. But I'm trying to think if there are any other examples, because those are almost all time travel games. Are there any other games, or how could this be added to a game where you know what's going to happen, at least at some point in the game, and you have to figure out how to get there, how to get to that point? Is it a flashback? Are you flashing forward to something that you're going to experience? And really, this video is a big question mark. Like I have been thinking about this since I watched the Tarantino movie a few days ago, and I have not come up with an example of how this could work in a board game. But I bet you often have much better examples than I do in my videos, so I'm really looking forward to your comments to see if you have any ideas about how this already works in some board games, or how this could work in board games. Not just in time travel games, but in a Euro game, or in a cooperative game, or games that have different themes as well other than time travel. I really look forward to hearing your thoughts on this topic in the comments. Thanks.